So let's deal with the suppressing of divergent beliefs in this context. This is where we get the term and understanding of heresy or heretics. Throughout history, the church labeled alternative spiritual movements and interpretations as heretical teachings. Gnostic texts, which emphasize direct personal experience of the divine, were considered among the suppressed and destroyed texts. Those that were known as the church fathers, such as Augustine of Hippo, played significant roles in defining orthodoxy and combating what was known as heresy. Heretics were often persecuted, and their writings were burned to prevent the spread of their ideas. See, this is all about control and suppressing. So one of the things I want to point out before we continue, we have a lot of people that are fundamentalists and biblical literates. And I saw somebody post something earlier today on social media that said about the Bible and tattoos, and quoting scriptures about tattoos and blase blase. I've seen that a few times. And so many biblical literates, should I say, and fundamentalists, they believe whatever it says, this is what they claim to believe. Whatever the Bible says, that's what it means, and that's where we should go and what we should follow. But I want to say that if that is your understanding and your belief, fine, but we need to have an understanding of where it came from. How did we get what we have today? How was this thing called the Bible put together? Who wrote it? Who put it together? Where does it come from? What was the idea in the mind or the conditions or the understandings or the belief systems of those who put these together? What was their purpose of putting these together? How did they determine what goes in and what doesn't? Because history, over the time of history, over the past century, we have found that there were other texts that were around the same time written, but the powers that be selected not to include them. And so the question for truth seekers is to find out, why did they not want those texts included? And so those who did not agree with orthodoxy was considered heretics. They were the opposing. They stood for the opposing beliefs. And they were persecuted, they were burned, their writings were burned, so that their ideas and their philosophy and understanding of spirituality would not spread. The Inquisition, established in the 12th century, was a powerful tool by the church to identify, trial, and punish heretics. This institution intensified the church's control over spiritual discourse and silenced opposition. Because who wanted to burn at the stake? Who wanted to die for their faith and their belief system? So when I say the church, I'm referring to the universal church, aka the Catholic Church, because it is the mother of all. I repeat, when I say the church, I'm referring to the universal church, and aka the Catholic Church, which is the mother of them all. And so they use control over spiritual discourse and silence opposition by deeming the opposing belief systems and believers as heretics, burn them in their writings. Something to think about.